Plowing right here, and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 on Westbridge Hills. Again, our 10-year anniversary revisit here on the map, and we're up at the shop here this episode. Yes, we got the old Magnum in front of us here. We're going to be selling this tractor here this episode, and I know you folks are hoping we're going to be replacing this with a proper John Deere tractor. Unfortunately, I must have fell and hit my head a couple times, gentlemen, because that's not really the plan here. Actually, you know what? Before I do this, I want to customize this here. What tires? We got the Trelleborg narrow twin wheels on here, so we got to remember that one. That's the tires we got on there a minute. So we're going to sell this atrocity. Red paint, I might have something to do with that. But the atrocity I'm more or less talking about is this atrocity going on back here. So we're going to sell that. I was going to do this a few episodes back on, but I keep forgetting to do it here. So, wow. We got 34... I didn't even look at how much that was selling for him. $34,000 for that? That's all we got for that tractor was $34,000? And you folks don't believe me when you say we should, the red paint. I'm telling you folks, the red paint. Okay, anyway. We're heading over here, and actually we're probably going to have to cheat some money here for this, because... well, I figured we'd have to end up cheating some money. Anyway, we are just going to simply switch out the tractor, basically. We are going to go from the in-game version here to the modded US EU modded version. And this actually is a proper US version, right? Not that silly Giants idea of an American version that's... anyway. 400, so we're going to bump that right back up here. We were running the Trelleborg's twin wheels. That is not the correct twin wheels. Standard. Oh, does this... Okay, so we have different tire config... Okay, so Trelleborg is not going to cut it here this time, apparently. No, I don't think we want 36. 30-inch would be good. Front duals... That's a weird setup. Rear triples, except I don't see any triples on there. That looks more like duals to me, huh? Oh, there's the triples. Okay, yeah. Don't know that I was planning on going with triples here. Also, I guess okay. The front and rear tires are all lined up. Looked like they weren't lined up there for a minute. Oh, we need to change this here too. Make sure we switch that from the EU configuration to the US configuration, and most notably, you'll see the difference on the back end of the tractor. So. European configuration here. We got that silly European hitch design and 3-point, and yeah, it doesn't actually change the front there, but I actually have the American triangle on there yet. Okay, anyway, US. Now we just have the front, or yeah, not the front, the rear 3-point changes to that, and then we got yes, the good old American drawbar. And again, I call it the American. I don't know that it necessarily is, but. Okay, so probably don't want triples. Duals would be good. Duals. Hey, there we go. Bit of a weird configuration. Is that 30-inch? That might be 30-inch, I guess. Rear duals 2. Yeah, just it doesn't have the front duals on it. Rear duals. Not actually sure what that changed. Weights. Okay. There's the big. Again, at least around where I live, you don't see tires like this typically. These are the clamp-on versions. I know someone left a comment here a while back. They were explaining a little bit about that. Clamp-ons, again, that's more of a European thing from my understanding of one. Again, I'll be honest, I don't fully understand why. I know the person in the comment here, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit further here this episode, kind of explained it, but do we have any other good tire configurations here a minute? Nope, Mitas doesn't have anything. How about BKTs? Nope. Okay, so for an American, or supposedly an American version of this tractor, there's a lot of European tire configurations here. Oh yeah, that's the Nokian ones. Okay, it's kind of a weird tire. Don't think you'd be finding those out in the. Whoa. 36-inch. Yeah. Okay then. Those are some spread out tires. Okay, Lizard has some options here as well, doesn't it? I guess that is going to be our configuration option here. Everyone, we're going to probably go with that. Duals, does it have weight? No. No weights. Okay, fine. That's whatever. You know what? And I'm going to have to borrow some money for this one, Evan, because we need $348,000. So I basically need to cheat in about 100 and... I have to do the exact math here, but we're going to have to cheat in some money here for this one. Oh, plus we want to switch out. Where is our... front attachers, front option. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, throw the front weight package up there. GPS, yes, we do want. We had GPS on the previous one. Beacon lights, yeah. Probably some front fenders would be good, too. There we go. Oh, that's not what I meant to change. Rear fenders. Interesting. Dzing 1. Okay. Well, okay, so we're going to need about $363,000 here. And we got, what, 34? So, yeah, it's like 330,000 will get us real close to that, right? One more zero there. Yeah, we're just going to cheat in the money, Evan, to make up the difference here for what we had. So let's go back in here real quick, reconfigure this tractor, and then we're going to head back to the farm because we got some work to do here with this tractor. The Magnum AFS Connect Series. Bump that up to the 400. We had the Lizard Lizard tires with that option. American, of course. Monitor's fine. Yeah. Front fenders, yes. Window tint, yeah, that's fine. Beacons. Attachers. Front weight. GPS. Yeah, all the rest, that should be good, I guess. We'll leave that where it's at. $363,000. Okay, I think I did the math right. We got about the same amount of money as we did when we started, I think. And now we have a little bit more American version of this tractor, I would argue, at least as far as the rear end of this tractor is concerned. Off that silly European hitch business there. Now, getting back into that a little bit there, Evan. I didn't read here a few episodes back. I forget the individual's name here again. Apologies about that one, but left a rather lengthy comment there on some of the information here for like the European hitch designs and some of the European constraints and stuff like that. So big thanks for that. Rather enjoyed reading that one there myself. I know I rag on the European stuff a little bit. I'll be honest, I still think some of that is very well warranted. But he definitely went into some depth as to why the Europeans do some of the stuff they do. Again, doesn't necessarily fully make sense to me because some of it's like, okay, that's why you do it, but that doesn't mean it's right, in my opinion, but whatever. So yeah, one of the things is European laws, and I guess this actually is a law from the way I read it in the comment there. Per the European law, your tractor can't be any wider than, I think it was at 2.55 meters wide. I'm not sure why 2.55 meters wide, but yeah, if I understood it correctly, your tractor can't be any wider than 2.55 meters. Like, wow, that's, when you do the math, I mean, that's not very wide. What's that, 8 feet or something like that, I think? And, you know, putting that in American numbers and real numbers. Anyway, we got the Case Ecotill here. We're going to be plowing up field 17 here this episode. Also, in between episodes, obviously, finished harvesting corn, Evan. Finished putting lime on this field. Also finished planting field 17. And had a hired worker planting field 16 for me. I think you folks can see where that one went right there. Unfortunately, I did not catch that until I fast-forwarded time here, Evan. That the hired worker missed this entire strip here. And I should have known, Evan, because like the hired worker is always foobarring up this field here. So, yeah. Great job. Great job there, hired worker. Love it. The hired worker messed up this end, Evan, but I caught that because the hired worker stopped there. So I went and fixed that end, but then I did not catch that this end was also mixed up. What I don't understand, Evan, and I've never have understood this, like you can see, the hired worker finished the first strip just fine. The first strip is good, right? Like, why is the first strip good? Then he gets to the second strip, and that's when he starts messing. Like, what in? Like, really, Giants? Really? I don't know. I think Giants needs to go back to the drawing board on their hired workers. Also, I probably should, like, stop using the hired workers and just use course play. Then I would probably be complaining about that a whole lot less. Anyway, where are we going here? We need, oh yeah, back to the tractor here. So, yeah, no, probably should use course, but that would probably solve some of my annoyances with that one. Okay, let's get some GPS set up here in a minute. And we want 0 degrees auto width. 18, whew. It's a little bit narrow, Evan. Again, that is fairly typical for a plow, even though most chisel plows are not particularly wide. Oh, and this has, I don't know what it is doing up front, but it's doing something else up front. Should I be concerned about that? Probably, Evan. And the reason I'm asking, should I be concerned about that, Evan, Usually you get the implements like this that have multiple functions on them. A lot of times, like, mod authors like to add like a cultivator and a plow function together. Those usually are not very hard worker friendly. I want usually cause a lot of problems with that. So that's one of the reasons why I've never been a fan of that. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the functionality of it. It just in the game here, the way the game works. And then this is why I always go back to what I've said, the way I like to do my play style of it. I like to play as realistically as possible, but given the limitations of the game, because let's face it, the limitations of the game sometimes are quite limiting. And this, in my opinion, is one of those scenarios where, yes, this might be a good functionality, but in the game, it's probably not a good implementation. Anyway, it's working. One of those things, like, if I do all the work myself, it'll probably be fine. But, I mean, how many of you folks out there watching, like, do everything yourself? For my part, obviously, I don't. I mean, like, you're not going to be able to farm a farm of this size and probably do everything yourself. So that's why I like to pick and choose what job I'm doing. Throw the hired worker on the other two fields while I'm working this field. And for the most part, well, okay, we had the hired worker do most of the harvest on this field. But for the most part, I've done the rest of the work myself on this field here so far. So we definitely went through some lime on this field here, by the way. Definitely took some lime. Not as bad as I would have thought it would have been. I figured we'd have to, like, fill up every other round, but it was every, once we started full, I think it was every 6 rounds? 8 rounds? I forget exactly what it was again, but only had to fill up, like, one more time after the last episode there, so it actually wasn't too bad. Anyway, getting back to the discussion we were talking about there a few moments ago, and tractors there. Again, like I said, apparently in Europe, they have a law that says your tractor can be no more than 2.5 meters wide. So, again, going back to this person's comment they left here, that explains why you don't see a whole lot of duals on European tractors, because, well, you're over the 2.5 meters wide. So, rather than going with duals like you see here, one where we got dual tires, they're just going with a little bit wider single tires. So, wider singles. Now, I mean, we won't get into the whole thing about that law there, but suffice to say, I would have to seriously probably disagree with that law, but that's a whole nother topic for another time. And then there was one other part about the comment there as well, and that was the width of your folded up equipment. Now, I have heard this one before, and I was aware of this one. Again, apparently this is per European law, I guess. But with your equipment folded up, it can be no more than 3 meters wide. So when it's folded up, it's got to be within 3 meters. And I think we've covered this before on the channel. That explains why some of the convoluted equipment you see here, that because it needs to fold up within 3 meters, right, everyone? Now, those are not laws that I know of that exist here in America. There might be some, like, local places where they're like, yeah, this, whatever. But generally speaking, I don't think we have laws like that around here that I know of. Again, I've said this many, many times before, but it's not uncommon to be out in farming country, and there the farmer is going down the road with their 45-foot head on the combine yet. I mean, it's 45 feet wide. Everyone, they're spanning ditch to ditch, right? And usually the farmer will have the road blocked off for a couple minutes while, maybe the combine's hopping from one field to the next there. Usually, again, they're not, like, going real far, and they're just maybe going from one field to the next, and rather than spending, the half hour to disconnect the head and, reconnect the head at the other field, they're just a couple minutes down the road to the next field. And they might, have to, like, block off each end of the road while the farmer does that. Happens. And it's definitely not uncommon to see a piece of equipment going down the road that is in excess of probably 20 feet wide. That is definitely not uncommon. That, I would say, is very, very common. You meet that great big John Deere or Case tractor. It's got triple tires, pulling a great big field cultivator behind it with the rolling baskets. It's a great big long road train, essentially. And then it's about as wide as it is long. So, the car that's on the oncoming traffic has to get way off into the side of the ditch while the tractor's on the other ditch there so you can pass each other. Happens all the time, right, everyone? That is definitely a very common thing here, at least in America, in the rural farming communities anyway. I'm sure some of you folks, at least if you're out in the rural farming communities, have probably experienced that. You meet an oncoming tractor. Again, I'm talking like the big John Deere, Case, whatever. Got the triple tires on them. Yeah, they got to get way off to the side there so you can pass them, and you're like hitting the ditch on the other side so you can get around them. Definitely a little bit of an annoyance, but I mean, hey, farmers got a job to do, and they're using the best equipment they have to get that job done. So yeah, just again, I'm interested to see some of the differences there between the European and the American equipment there. Some of that European equipment maybe being driven more by the laws. Ridiculous laws, in my opinion, to be honest. We've discussed this before on the live streams as well, by the way. So for those who like to hear more discussion about this, it comes up in the live streams every so often. Which, as a reminder, if you'd like to catch the RDAllen live streams, link is down below in the description there. RDAllen over on Twitch. That is typically where we keep our live streams, by the way. And that is usually also the multiplayer content as well. Speaking of the multiplayer, by the way, if you'd like to join us in on the RDAllen multiplayer server, you are welcome to do so. That information, again, is down below in the description here of this video. RDAllen on Teamspeak. Again, that's RDAllen Teamspeak server information down below. Anyone's welcome to join as long as you can play nicely, follow the rules. Okay, now that that advertisement is done, making that slow work here of this plowing job. Oh, before I forget, I just realized we need to fertilize field 17 and 16 here yet. I was going to get started on that here this episode. Let's just throw the Maxim here with a fertilizer spreader on it on that job here a minute. Both 17 and 16 here need to be fertilized, or 16 and 15, I'm sorry. Or no, yeah, 16 and 17, I had it right the first time. 16 and 17 need to be fertilized. Also, I was looking at the sheep here, everyone. Yes, we do have sheep, and we do have wool. I did not actually realize that. We do actually have some wool sitting there. I think they have since probably stopped producing because we haven't exactly been feeding them. As I mentioned, I didn't realize we had sheep until a few episodes back, and so that's got a big part to it. I wasn't feeding sheep because I didn't realize I had sheep. But I'm kind of debating that one if we should maybe look at what we can do about getting some grass or something for the sheep. Maybe see if we can actually feed them, get some more wool. And somewhere, I know, was the last episode or episode before when I was looking through our factories, I think I seen, oh yeah, spinnery, there it is right there. I seen a spinnery. It's like, maybe we should check that out. The only problem is, I was looking at this here, like we need a nice little grass field or something for the sheep. Actually, no, field 10 might be good for that, wouldn't it? Field 10, maybe. And speaking of fields, by the way, also, we still need to do something with sugar cane or sugar beets, everyone. I'm kind of leaning towards the sugar cane route, just because we can plant it and it will regrow. And I'm looking at maybe like fields 5 or 6, everyone. It's not as close as I would like. I'd like a little bit smaller field out the, this direction over here, but there isn't no small fields out there, so just a nice little small field we can purchase, and then we need to look at buying the planter and the harvester, and we probably need a one of those tipper things as well, if I had to guess. I don't know if the gravity wagons we have would actually hold sugar cane or not. Even if they did, it probably won't be the most realistic. Well, let's see what's here. Trailers. Where's our gravity wagons here? Is that the one we have? Nope, we don't have the Brent ones. We got the J&M ones. There we go, J&Ms. They hold, well, they actually do hold sugarcane. Like I said, not sure the realism of that necessarily, although they probably would work because they're gravity wagon. It's, yeah, I don't know, they might work. Obviously in the game they'll work, but well, it doesn't feel like we're making a whole lot of progress here with this, to be honest, Evan. This chisel plow is not the widest, obviously. Though as far as like chisel plows go in real life, this is like a decent sized chisel plow. And this also has a little bit more going on than just a typical chisel plow as well. This is, I'd say, very similar to like the John Deere rippers there. You got some discs up front, disturbing the soil. You got some rippers in the back here. And then you got some more leveling work going on in the back. It's surprised the mod author didn't like put a cultivated texture behind this here. I think, is it mulching up front? I'm guessing this is mulching, everyone. I didn't actually check that. What is this actually doing? It's doing something up front, it looks like. It's plowed. Yeah, okay. I knew that. So yes, it is mulching, which is kind of nice, to be honest, Evan. Again, as I said, not sure how well that'll work with a hired worker, but maybe the mulching will work okay. I know the combination plow cultivator combos, Evan, that is not a good combination. Definitely not, but oh well. Let's head over to the comment section here a moment. Recording this episode a little bit early, so there's probably not going to be a whole lot of comments here yet for last episode. Starting off with the first one here, Tim was saying, good video. Hey, thank you very much for that. Niles was saying, those decals are not using the right font and size. A quick search using the term 1999 John Deere 8410. And look at the images, and you'll see what I mean. So check that out there. Again, talking about our John Deere 8410 that we have on here. I've been told apparently the decals on that tractor are not quite right. I'm not particularly familiar myself with some of those older 8 series John Deeres. Wasn't, I would say, a very common tractor around where I lived, everyone. So that's probably why. At least around where I live, Evan, you see a lot of the older John Deere 4000 series tractors. And when I say 4000, I'm talking like, the 4440s and the 4640s, the 4840s, the 4960s, the so on and so forth, right? All those tractors. See quite a few of those around yet. And then you see a lot of the newer tractors as well. So the 6Rs, 7Rs, 8Rs, 9Rs, of course. I do see some of the older 9000 series tractors as well, but I don't see a whole lot in that 8000 series range. The older ones, anyway. So far, this tractor seems to be pulling the plow quite nicely. Quite a surprise given the fact that's a red tractor, right, everyone? I have to look at the one we had before, but this looks a little bit different, doesn't it? I could be wrong. Pay a little bit closer attention here. Yeah, I think we definitely have a little bit different interior on this tractor, at least as far as the seat and stuff like that goes. Looks to be ever so slightly different than the previous tractor we had. I probably should check and see how we're doing on the fertilizer here. Oh, looks like one more pass on field 17, or maybe there might be a little row of shame left, too. Yeah, we'll have to see once there. It's going to be real close on that next pass. Then we'll have to move on to field 16 there as well. Get that field fertilized. Again, if you're maybe a little bit newer to this series, Evan, we are running a little bit more old school as far as our settings go here. So we're playing with just the basic fertilizer settings here. We have seasons turned off, and we also have precision farming turned off. So with precision farming turned off, obviously we got to fertilize our crops twice. And then also with seasons turned off. And again, we do have the seasonal progression turned on yet, so we are still going through the months. But we can plant whatever we want, whenever we want, and whenever it's ready to harvest, we can harvest it, right? So we're really not, paying attention. Okay, it says it's August up there. Yeah, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? You could change that and set that as well, I think, everyone. I think you can, set it to, a permanent month. Maybe, the month of August. You just set it August all the time. You could do that. Which, if you remember, back in Farming Simulator 2013, that's pretty much the way it was, right? There wasn't any such thing as months back then. Seasons mod didn't come around until I think it was Farming Simulator 17. I like to say it was 17 before we really had our first actual seasons mod. And back then, of course, it was a mod. Now it's built right into the game essentially, but and as I keep saying too, Evan, it definitely feels like the gameplay goes much, much quicker here with Seasons mod. I keep calling it Seasons mod. Technically, it's built in the game, so it's just Seasons. With Seasons turned off, Evan, it feels like it goes much quicker. Oh, you got the fields finished. It looks like there is a little strip of shame there, everyone, but is that strip of shame worth hitting? I think we're probably going to just skip here. Let's just take a quick look here. I probably won't even be able to see. Can't even tell. I can look at the map, Evan. It looks like there's definitely looks like there's a strip there, but I don't think that's worth the fertilizer cost for that little section, Evan. Now, our field quality manager probably would seriously disagree with me on that one. In fact, he's probably looking at this section over here, and he's... I don't know. We might have to call in stat on that one, Evan. He's probably not going to make it after he sees that. Can someone get a medical unit on standby for our field quality manager? Because I think he's going to need it when he sees this, Evan. Even I don't like seeing that one, but... And I seen it, but I thought about, should I go out and replant it, Evan? I can go out and, plant that section. The only problem, if I do that, then I'm going to have, that section of the field is not going to be ready when the rest is. And it's oh. No, we're just going to leave it unplanted. Make sure this hired worker doesn't know something silly here. Again, I still find it weird. The hired worker does the first pass fine. What is up with the second pass? Okay. He did fine on that one. Let's go back to our plowing job here. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on you there, hired worker. I'm watching you. Well, once we get this field plowed, I'm thinking we'll probably throw some more fertilizer on this field. Again, we got to reminder, fertilize the field twice here. We are playing without precision farming, so we'll probably throw some fertilizer on the field, Evan. Then we'll get the cultivator out, run the cultivator across the field, and then we'll start planting here. Not sure what we're going to plant here yet. I haven't really figured that one out per se. That's a good question. Anything we need, from our factory standpoint? Tomato sauce, huh? Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, corn. We could do corn if we want to do canned corn, I suppose. Soy milk. Some soybeans might be a good choice. We could do soybean. Oh. Yeah, okay. We could do soybean oil, too, if we wanted, right? Of the factories that take the various oils, I'm not sure if there's a preference over one oil or the other. Soybean versus canola. I do, again, have canola planted for that exact purpose, for canola oil. That is the reason we got... Field 16, or no, which one field do we have? Yeah, oh yeah, 16. Yep, 16 is the one we got planted in canola. Or is it 15? I gotta go check this here again. Which one did I plant with canola for it? Well, that's the answer. Oh, 17. Okay, yep. And then I got wheat is on 16 there, so. Figure more flour that way. And obviously, at the point where we're still currently selling the flour, the idea here is I do want to look at like I like to call them our second tier of factories, right, everyone? So you got your like primary ones. They're making your main ingredients like flour and oil, stuff like that, right? And then we got our second tier of factories where we're actually like taking those products like flour and oil and making other stuff like bakery and whatever other factories we have on this particular map here. You know, maybe making bread and restaurant. I think that's just the sell point though, isn't it? Yeah, like the bakery here. That actually might be our next purchase then. We'll have to see once. Maybe next episode we can look at buying that bakery there and seeing what we need to actually get that up and running. And also maybe the spinnery too. Again, we got sheep, everyone. Just got to throw some grass in for them. I think that's the only thing they need. So I just need to find like a nice little grass patch somewhere we can actually get some grass for the sheep. Anyway, looking at the time, everyone, it is unfortunately time to wrap it up here this episode. So that you folks have any comments and or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And as always, everyone, thanks for watching. Until next time.